Hello, today I'm going to show you how I would fix a mistake in my lace knitting. So I'm actually working on this pattern now, and I just noticed that these little diamond motifs here and here, they should be, I've actually missed a row. That's what they should look like. I don't know whether you can tell the difference, but that one is slightly smaller than that one, and I've done it all the way along. Now I could just rip back, it's about 12 rows, I could just rip them back and re-knit them, but I don't want to do that, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to drop down those, I think it's 6 rows I need to drop down halfway down the diamond and re-knit it. Now I've got no lifelines or anything in place, so if I mess up I have to rip back quite a lot. So I'm going to rip back to actually it's 4 rows, I think. Yeah, 4 rows. So this one here, I know that that's the yarn over I'm going to rip down to. So, and here we've got yarn overs here, so those 3 stitches there are actually from those yarn overs here, so I'm just going to take all those 3 off my needle and then just unravel it. Actually I'm going to let go of that yarn. So that's the first stitch. Okay, and here I've got to knit 2 together. Now I could either just take that stitch off and unravel it. That's a double decrease, so once I unravel that I end up with 3 stitches, and I got knit 2 together, knit 1, SSK, so once I undo that I end up with 5 stitches, and then I got another decrease. So once I let go of that one that double decrease, it'll suddenly unravel very quickly and I'll end up with, I think, about 7 stitches. So I'm going to try and pick it up. So that's a knit 2 together. I don't know whether you can see that or not. So I've managed to put the needle into both of those. Then I'm going to put it into the stitch next to it. This one strand, this one leg of the stitch. And then next to there is an SSK, so that's 2 legs like that, and then I'm going to let that one off, and now when I unravel these strands I don't have those 5 stitches sitting on my needle. If you don't do that, then you have to unravel that and very quickly catch them as they unravel, because once you unravel that top double decrease like here, it quickly unravels and suddenly you've got 5 loose stitches there. And then I'm going to do that yarn over as well, so that means those 3 have to come off. Okay, so that's the section I'm going to re-knit, and here are my strands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly slip them back to my left hand needle because I find it easier to go in that direction. There we go. And then I'm going to find the bottom strand. So one of these strands represents 1 row, so I'm going to pick up the bottom one. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to take the bottom one, and before I start I'm actually going to do it yarn over, and then I'm going to do an SSK like that, then a knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you've got to be a bit careful, because if you're holding on to this like I do the continental way, you end up over here and you suddenly have loads of extra yarn, so you've got to be a little bit careful that you're kind of evenly using up that yarn. And then the last one is a yarn over, so I'm just going to put that up like that. And then I'm actually going to try and go back on the knit row because it's just a plain knit row. So now I'm going to choose, now you could slip all the stitches back again and then knit across again, but I'm going to try and go back again. So kind of knit backwards. So now I'm going to choose the next strand, and I'm just going to kind of go backwards. The way I do that is I put the stitch over there, then I go in like that, and then I just pull the yarn through and put it back on that needle the correct way around. Pull it through. Hang on, if I hold it like that. Oops. And pull it through. Whether you slip them all back to the left hand needle and then knit across again, or whether you go backwards like I'm doing, it doesn't really matter. It depends a bit on how many stitches you've got. If I was doing this on sort of say I don't know, 20 stitches or something, then I would slip them all back and knit across again, because that is quicker. And then that final one. Okay, so that's 2 rows knitted back up. So now it's the next one. So now I got 2 strands left. So I choose the one that is at the bottom. Let me just double check that. It is important that you choose the right strand. So now that first one, I'm going to, it's a yarn over on the previous round, I'm going to knit that through the back loop. Then I'm going to do a yarn over, then an SSK, knit 1. Now I'm going to let go of that, loosen up on a bit so I don't end up with like a big extra bit over here. Knit 2 together, knit 1, yarn over, and then I'm going to knit that one through the back loop, and I'm going to do it without trying to end up with loads of extra yarn over here. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to knit back again, so that one, I'm just going to try and see if I can do it so you can see better. So the way I do it is I put it on there, then I put my needle in, then I just pull the yarn through and put it back on. This isn't kind of like the best way to knit backwards, but because it's only a few stitches, this is quicker than slipping them all back and re-knitting them again. Okay, so I got that last one, the yarn over, pull that through, and then I got 1 stitch here. Now that stitch, that last stitch, you've got to make sure you don't forget about that one. The strand behind the back, because there's a yarn over next to it, it's kind of almost disappeared. It's that one here, so you can kind of look and think, oh yeah, I've knitted that one. But you haven't, so make sure you don't forget about that one. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's the first one. So I'm going to just re-knit that one. What I did was I was knitting along, and then I came to the final row of the pattern and I realized that I was 1 row out. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please do ask below. I will put a link to the blog post that accompanies this post. I try and do a video every Monday, or at least a blog post with a tutorial. And you can find the list of all my tutorials at my website at www.yarnaddict.co.uk. There will be a link below this video for those of you watching on YouTube. And thank you very much for watching. And my name is Anniken Alice.